वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज का वीडियो कैपिटल गेन सीरीज का 5वां वीडियो है। इन दिस वीडियो वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट ट्रांजैक्शंस व्हिच आर नॉट रिगार्डेड एज ट्रांसफर। सेक्शन 47 deals with the transactions which are not regarded as transfer and hence shall not be charged to the capital gains as subject to the certain condition। तो लेट अस स्टार्ट द वीडियो इमीडिएटली। ये वीडियो थोड़ी लंबी होने वाली है, इसके लिए आप इसके अंत तक बने रहें। तो चलिए हम शुरुआत करते हैं। सेक्शन 47 क्लॉज 1 डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ कैपिटल एसेट्स ऑन द टोटल और पार्शियल पार्टीशन ऑफ हिंदू अनडिवाइडेड फैमिली। सेक्शन 47 क्लॉज 3 ट्रांसफर ऑफ कैपिटल एसेट अंडर ए गिफ्ट or will or an irrevocable trust, but this clause shall not apply to transfer under a gift or an irrevocable trust of capital asset being shares, debenture or warrants allotted by a company directly or indirectly to its employees under any employees stock option plan or a scheme of the company offered to such employees in accordance with the guidelines issued by the central government in this behalf. Section 47 Clause 4 Transfer of capital assets by a company to its wholly owned subsidiary company, and subsidiary company is an Indian company. Section 47 Clause 5 Transfer of capital assets by a wholly owned subsidiary company to its holding company, and the holding company is an Indian company. But note or remark, nothing contained in Section 47 Clause 4 or Clause 5 shall apply to transfer of capital assets made after 29th February 1988 as a stock in trade. Section 47 Clause 6 Transfer of capital asset in a scheme of amalgamation by amalgamating company to the amalgamated company, and the amalgamated company is an Indian company. Section 47 Clause 6A Transfer capital assets being share or shares held in an Indian company by amalgamating foreign company to amalgamated foreign company under a scheme of amalgamation of foreign company or companies if at least 25% share holders of the amalgamating foreign company continue to be the shareholder of the amalgamated foreign company, and b such transfer does not attract tax on capital gains in the country in which amalgamated company is incorporated. Section 47 Clause 6AA Transfer of capital assets by the banking company to the banking institution in a scheme of amalgamation of a banking company with a banking institution sanctioned and brought into force by the central government under Section 45 subsection 1 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Section 47 Clause 6AB Transfer of capital assets in a scheme of amalgamation being shares of a foreign company which derives directly or indirectly its value subsequently by the central government under Section 45 subsection 1 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Section 47 Clause 6AB Transfer of capital assets in a scheme of amalgamation being shares of a foreign company which derives directly or indirectly its value subsequently. Section 47 Clause 6AB Transfer of capital asset in a scheme of amalgamation being shares of a foreign company which derives directly or indirectly its value substantially from shares or shares of an Indian company held by amalgamating foreign company in the amalgamated foreign company if at least 25% shareholders of the amalgamating foreign company continue to remain shareholders of the amalgamated foreign company, and such transfer does not attract tax or capital gains in country in which amalgamating company is incorporated. Section 47 Clause 6B Transfer of capital assets by demerged company to resulting Indian company in demerger. Section 47 Clause 6C Transfer of capital assets being shares or shares held in Indian company by the demerged foreign company to the resulting foreign company in demerger if shareholders holding not less than 3/4 in value of shares of the demerged foreign company continue to remain shareholders of the resulting foreign company, and such transfer does not attract tax on capital gains in the country in which demerged foreign company is incorporated. Section 47, Clause 6CA, transfer of capital assets by predecessor cooperative bank to successor cooperative bank or to the converted banking company in business reorganization. Section 47, Clause 6CB, transfer of capital assets being shares held by a shareholder in predecessor's cooperative bank if transfer is made in consideration of the allotment to him of any share in successor cooperative bank or to converted banking company in business reorganization. Section 47, Clause 6CC, transfer of capital asset being shares of a foreign company which derives directly or indirectly its value substantially from the shares of an Indian company held by demerged foreign company to the resulting foreign company in case of demerger if shareholders holding not less than 3/4 in value of shares of the demerged foreign company continue to remain shareholders of the resulting foreign company, and such transfer does not attract tax on capital gains in the country in which demerged foreign company is incorporated. Provisions of Section 391 to 394 of the Companies Act 1956 shall not apply in case of demerger referred to in this clause. Section 47, Clause 6D, transfer or issue of shares by the resulting company to the shareholder of demerged company if the transfer or issue is made in consideration of demerger of the undertaking in a scheme of demerger. Section 47, Clause 7, transfer of capital asset being shares held by a shareholder in amalgamating company in a scheme of amalgamation if the transfer is made in consideration of the allotment to the shareholder of any share or shares in the amalgamated company except where the shareholder itself is an amalgamated company and the amalgamated company is an Indian company. Section 47, Clause 6A, transfer of capital assets being bond or global depository receipt referred to in Section 115 AC made outside India by a non-resident to another non-resident. Section 47, Clause 7AA, any transfer made outside India of capital assets being rupee denominated bond of an Indian company issued outside India by a non-resident to another non-resident. Section 47, Clause 7AB, any transfer of capital asset made by a non-resident on a recognized stock exchange in any international financial services center and where consideration for such transaction is paid or payable in foreign currency. The capital asset being bond or global depository receipt referred to in Section 115 AC subsection 1 or rupee denominated bond of an India company or derivative or such other securities as may be notified by the central government in this behalf. Section 47, Clause 7 AC, any transfer of capital asset by the original fund to the resultant fund in relocation. Section 47, Clause 7 AD, transfer of capital asset being share, unit or interest by shareholder, unit holder or interest holder held by him in original fund in consideration for the share, unit or interest in the resultant fund in relocation. Section 47, Clause 7A, transfer of capital assets by India Infrastructure Finance Company to an institution established for financing infrastructure and development set up under an Act of Parliament and notified by the central government for the purpose of this clause. Section 47, Clause 7AF, transfer of capital assets by public sector company to another public sector company under a plan approved and notified by the central government for the purposes of this clause or to the central government or to the state government. Section 47, Clause 7b, transfer of capital asset, being a government security carrying periodic payment of interest outside through an intermediary dealing in settlement of securities by a non-resident to another non-resident. Section 47, Clause 7c, transfer of sovereign gold bond by way of redemption issued by the Reserve Bank of India under Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme 2015 by an assessee being individual with effect from 1st 4 2024. Section 47, Clause 7d, transfer of capital asset being conversion of gold into electronic gold receipt issued by a vault manager or conversion of electronic gold receipt into gold. Section 47, Clause 8, transfer of agricultural land in India effected before first day of March 1970. Clause 79, Section 47, Clause 9, transfer of capital asset being any work of art, archaeological, scientific or art collection, book, manuscript, drawing, painting, photograph or print to the government or to a university or to a national museum, national art gallery, national archives or any such other public museum or institution as may be notified by the central government to be of national importance or to be of renown throughout any state or states. Section 47, Clause 10, transfer by way of conversion of bond or debenture stock or deposit certificate in any form of a company in share or debenture of that company. Section 47, Clause XA, transfer by way of conversion of bond referred to in Section 115 AC subsection 1 Clause A into share or debenture of that company. Section 47, Clause XB, 10b, transfer by way of conversion of preference share of a company into equity share of that company. Section 47, Clause 11, transfer of capital assets being membership of a recognized stock exchange by a person not being company to a company in exchange of shares allotted by that company to the transferor. Section 47, Clause 12, transfer of capital asset being land of Sikh Industrial Company made under a scheme prepared or sanctioned under Section 18 of the Sikh Industrial Company, a special provision Act 1985 where such Sikh Industrial Company is being managed by its workers' cooperative provided that such transfer is made during the period commencing from the previous year in which the said company has become a Sikh Industrial Company under Section 17(1) subsection 1 of that Act and ending with the previous year during which the entire net worth of such company becomes equal to or exceed the accumulated losses. Section 47, Clause 13, transfer of capital assets or intangible assets by a firm to a company as a result of succession of the firm by company in a business carried on by the firm or any transfer of capital asset to a company in the course of demutualization or corporatization of recognized stock exchange in India as a result of which an association of persons or body of individual is succeeded by such company, provided that a all the assets and liabilities of the firm or association of person or body of individual relating to the business immediately before the succession become the assets and liabilities of the company. B. All the partners of the firm immediately before succession become shareholders of the company in the same proportion to which their capital account stood in the book of the firm on the date of the conversion. The partners of the firm do not receive any consideration or benefit directly or indirectly in any form or manner other than by way of allotment of shares in the company. D. The aggregate of the shareholding of the partners of the firm in the company is not less than 50% of the total voting power in the company and their shareholding continues to be as such for a period of 5 years from the date of such succession. The Demutualization or corporatization of the recognized stock exchange in India is carried out in accordance with the scheme of demutualization or corporatization, which is approved by the Security Exchange Board of India, established under Section 3 of Security and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. Section 47, Clause 13A. Transfer of capital assets being a membership right held by a member of a recognized stock exchange in India for acquisition of shares or trading or clearing rights acquired by such member in that recognized stock exchange in accordance with the scheme of demutualization or corporatization, which is approved by the Security and Exchange Board of India, established under the Section 3 of the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. Clause 47. Section 47, Clause 13b. Transfer of capital assets or intangible assets by a private company or unlisted public company to a limited liability partnership, or any transfer of shares held by the Section 47, Clause 13b. Transfer of capital asset or intangible assets by a private company or unlisted public company to a limited liability partnership, or any transfer of shares held in the company by a shareholder as a result of conversion of company into limited liability partnership in accordance with the provision of Section 56 or 57 of the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008, provided that all the assets and liabilities of the company immediately before conversion become the assets and liabilities of the limited liability partnership. B. All the shareholders of the company immediately before the conversion become the partners of the limited liability partnership, and their capital contribution and profit sharing ratio in the limited liability partnership are in the same proportion as their shareholding in the company on the date of the conversion. The shareholders of the company do not receive any consideration or benefit directly or indirectly in any form or manner other than by way of shares in the profit and capital contribution in the limited liability partnership. D. Aggregate of the profit sharing ratio of the shareholders of the company in the limited liability partnership shall not be less than 50% at any time during the period of 5 years from the date of the conversion. E. Total sales, turnover or gross receipt in the business of the company in any of the 3 previous years preceding the previous year in which the conversion takes place does not exceed 60 lakh rupees. EA. Total value of assets as appearing in the books of the accounts of the company in any of the 3 previous years preceding the previous year in which the conversion takes place does not exceed 5 crore rupees, and no amount is paid directly or indirectly to any partner out of balance of accumulated profit standing in the account of the company on the date of the conversion for a period of 3 years from the date of such conversion. Section 47, Clause 14. Sale or transfer of any capital asset or intangible asset of a business carried on by a proprietary concern to a company in succession of sole proprietary concern to the company, provided that all the assets and liability of the sole proprietary concern relating to the business immediately before the succession become the assets and liabilities of the company. B. Shareholding of the sole proprietor in the company is not less than 50% of total voting power in the company, and his shareholding continues to remain same as such for a period of 5 years from the date of such conversion. The sole proprietor does not receive any consideration or benefit directly or indirectly in any manner other than by way of allotment of shares in the company. Section 47, Clause 15. Transfer of securities in a scheme of lending under an agreement or arrangement which the SSC has entered into with the borrower of such securities and which is subject to the guidelines issued by the Securities and Exchange Board of India or the Reserve Bank of India. Section 47, Clause 16, Transfer of capital asset in a transaction of reverse mortgage under a scheme made and notified by the central government. Section 47, Clause 17, Transfer of capital asset being share of a special purpose vehicle to a business trust in exchange of units allotted by that trust to the transferor. Section 47, Clause 18, Transfer of capital assets being units held by unit holder in mutual fund consolidating scheme made in consideration for the allotment of capital asset to him being unit in the consolidated scheme of the mutual fund, provided that the consolidation is of two or more equity oriented scheme or two scheme of the fund other than the equity oriented fund. Section 47, Clause 19, Transfer of capital assets being units held by unit holder in consolidating plan of the mutual fund scheme made in consideration of the allotment of capital assets to him being units in the consolidated plan of that scheme of the mutual fund. Section 47, Clause 20, Transfer of capital asset being an interest in a joint venture held by a public sector company in exchange of shares of a company incorporated outside India by the government of foreign state in accordance with the laws of that foreign state. Section 46, subsection 1, Distribution of asset in kind by a company to its shareholder at the time of liquidation. ये वीडियो अब मैं यहीं समाप्त करता हूँ। ये वीडियो थोड़ी लंबी हो गई है लेकिन बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियो है। अगर ये वीडियो आपको अच्छी लगी हो तो इसको लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। थैंक यू वेरी मच।